Peace and power, beautiful people. Welcome to the InnerG Current. I'm your host, Naira Vox, and it's an honor to have you tuned in live tonight. We're here to flow through culture, creativity, and that real energy that's moving us all. So grab your tea, light that candle, and tap in with me. Hit the like, share this stream, and let's rise on this.
Yeah. They told me stay positive, but nobody told me what to do with the dark. Look, met my shadow in the mirror, didn't blink this round. Same face, same pain, just deeper sound. Buried thoughts come back when the lights go low. Every lie I dodge, got a voice I know. They said heal fast, never said go deep. So I masked my rage, let it rock me to sleep. Every trigger talking, every scar got bars. Every wound trying to show me who we are. I've been flexing peace, still beefing inside. Smile on my face, war on my spine. Trying to ghost my flaws, trying to pray them away. Shadow said nah, sit with me today.
The shadow knows every lie told just to keep control. They don't want my crown, don't want my throne. Truth in the room, let it be known. The shadow knows where the cycles spin, where the trauma grow. When I step aside, I lose my soul. Unlock power when I let it show.
They call it dark cause it don't play nice. Call it evil when it won't take lies. But pain keep receipts. Fear got names. Every loop repeat till you face that flame. Inner child screaming, ego talking slick. Shadow in the back like you gon' fix this or quit. I saw my envy, saw my pride, saw my hurts still waiting on my time. Every pattern was a coded sign. Hey, every breakdown trying to realign. I ain't broken, I was misdirected. Light without truth, stay disconnected.
The shadow knows where the fear lives, where the real me goes. It ain't here to kill me, ain't here to pose. It here to strip lies, expose cause. The shadow knows you don't heal fast, you unfold slow. I ain't scared now, I'm poor. They peace with the parts I hold.
What if the shadow ain't the enemy? What if it's the part of you that survived everything you pretended didn't happen? Yo, now I walk with my shadow in stride. Same steps, same breath. Unified, I don't fake light. I embody flame. I know my demons, I know their names. Integration, not elevation. Truth over vibes, no decoration. I ain't chasing heal, I'm being real. That's how the inner power seal. Dark ain't bad, it's unclaimed depth. Shadow taught me self-respect. Every part of me in alignment. Now my presence loud as silence. The shadow knows
where my power sit, where my magic grows. I ain't scared of me no more. That's the key they never show. The shadow knows I ain't light or dark, I'm both. Whole frequency fully warm.
Yeah.
The shadow knows.
You don't heal by running from yourself. You heal by listening to the part that stayed when everything else left.
All right, now, mic check. Mic check. All right, mic check 1, 2, 3. Okay. Making sure my audio is okay. I'm kind of sitting back from my laptop because there's a certain little individual here that wants to get his hands on my laptop by any means necessary. And listen, this thing is, and he don't get that. So, but it's good. Sounds like I can hear me all right. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Good evening. All right, everyone. Welcome to the InnerG Current. I am Naira. So, listen. This is an inspiration, or not even inspiration, but more aspiration, right? I was inspired to do this stream based off a series of events, right? So let me just make sure the music is not like drowning me out, because I would like to keep it playing, have a little vibe. Okay. Wait, you want to say something more hate? Say hey to the people. You think that's a good number, or should we? Okay, I think that's good for now. And if people say drown out a little bit, okay, let's take it down to like 13 and see if it's too much. And then if Twin says it's too much for us, then we'll turn it down some more. Hey, Twin. Good evening. How you doing? Good to see you. All right. So listen, she said, "Hey, nephew." Okay, so that's his way of saying hello. Hello. All right. So anyway, listen. We're moving into this, right? So here's the vibe. The vibe is, far as the series of events that I've been experiencing for like the last maybe a good, like, say 3 days. I just want to say at least 3 days minimum of me experiencing like a repetition of, and I don't want to call it deja vu, but it was like different scenarios was kind of showing me the same message. And what kind of linked it together was a movie that I watched here recently, more like yesterday. And I really did enjoy it because, hey, we all love a good action adventure type of movie. Well, I ain't gonna say all, but for the most part, action adventure. I know there's a lot of Marvel fans out there. We got the DC and everything. But anyway, let's stay on the topic, right? So yesterday, and also spoiler alert. Thank you, girl. The movie I will be discussing, I will possibly be giving away some spoilers if you have not yet seen it. But if you're like me, who took a few months to watch it, you might have already watched it and say, hey, you're already behind. You need to catch up with the current. But no, so I watched it yesterday, and because of the movie, it solidified the decision that I felt that it was imperative that we have this discussion about the shadow being revealed, or the shadow revealing itself, shadow coming to the surface. Let's just talk about the shadow. Okay. So before we get into that, let's you was not gonna get to my phone. I knew you was going up there for something. Yes. Mama knows. Mama knows. Okay. Just because I cannot visibly see you behind me, like what eyes behind my back. Trust me, I can see you. That's that superpower mamas get when they have children. They get eyes in the back of their head that children can't see. Um, so since y'all kind of up close, I might turn it down just a little because I don't want to bust your eardrums. So I'm gonna turn down my volume just slightly because I turned it up so y'all can hear me. But I think this is good. I think I can control him from here. Now, when we talk about we'll get into the shadow and the depths of that. Let's get into the energy portal, right? Let's get into the portal that happened yesterday. And a part of me wanted to do this live yesterday because of 12/12. But hey, the energy is lingering, so I felt like it was just as okay to do it today as it was yesterday. So let's talk about this portal, right? So the energy current presents a breakdown of the 12/12 portal, right? So what is exactly 12/12 portal energetically? Because I'm all about the energy, the vibes, the current, the wave, whatever y'all want to call it. Like there's so many names for it. Okay, 12/12. Okay, is a numerological. Boy, what are you doing? I'm sorry. I'm trying to like look at him and also do the same time. Huh? You said what? Okay, sorry. 12/12 is a numerological acceleration point, a vortex where energy, consciousness, and alignments, um, hold on, go over here, intensifies, right? It's like the universe is hitting a cosmic refresh button, clearing out, like outdated and upgrading what is divine, right? So imagine this happens once a year. So there's a lot of, there's a few portals that, are kind of prevalent that happens, of course, like once a year. Like for example, the 11/11, 12/12, the 10/10, the 9/9, 8, 7, 6, 5, go all the way down to 1, right? And so when you see the numbers that are like mirroring each other, or even like a synchronicity, the energy is amplified, right? It's more than it originally was by itself. So the fact that 12/12 is a dual point signifies to me that it's really like, once again, it's like the end, not even the end, but it's like the reset, right? Because even when we get to the 12th, and I'm going to get break that down too, because people go to the 13th, because like even when we get to 13, that can also represent like the Christ energy, or the Christ archetype and things like that. But because we're so used to dealing with things in like 3, 7, I think more prevalent like 7, um 12, and things like that, that really kind of circulates in our world. But numerology breakdown, 12 equals completion plus initiation, right? Plus, okay. So number 1 can be looked at as like self identity, the inner spark, okay, knowledge. If you want to get into supreme mathematics on that tip, okay, and then you get into 2, we got balance, intuition, alignment, also wisdom, and supreme mathematics. So I'll probably be jumping around here, from other avenues of quote unquote gematria, which is the original, but um, numerology or angel numbers, whatever y'all call it. I'm just probably gonna jump around from one to the other as far as my understanding and knowledge of these numbers. Okay. So we have 12. Releasing the old to activate the new. 1212, a mirror portal. The as within, so without gateway. Together, the numbers signal you are stepping into the version of you that your higher self has been waiting on. So here's the thing, because that can be tricky. Okay. And let me tell you how tricky it can be. Because if you are in the idea that there are like multiple versions, parallel universes out there. So this like if they're like one higher self that just governs it all, or does each individual experience have their own higher self? Or once again, is it this one vast source that powers it all? Right? These are questions that we ask ourselves. So let's move over here. 12 to a middle point. Okay, as within, so without, as above, so below, gateway. Okay, so just know whatever pathway that you chose, that's the pathway that you're on as far as what your higher self wants you to experience. So just understand that. So if we want to get into like shadow illumination, 1212, like it's said that the veil is thin. So the things that you have been avoiding, suppressing, or ignoring rise to the surface. Not to punish you though, right? But to free you, more to free you and make you more aware of what you have been pushing down to, ignore, or for whatever reason you don't want it to be in your vision, whether physically or even just by thinking about it, for some reason you want to be pushed down. But through this energetic portal on 1212, the veil is really thin, so you may come across even like Mercury retrograde is one of the times where you feel like things are going backwards. So imagine like when the veil is thin, some of the things you might come across that you might freak you out sometimes, or it might be something to make you aware of what's going on, to remind you. Because like I said, with like Mercury retrograde, it's like going backwards. You might run into situations or repeat certain things just to see where you're at, just to see if you're gonna do the same thing over again. And I'm over here fighting for my life, like I'm really over here. I guess it's gonna wear him out, but I'm running from this kid and he's chasing my laptop. He want my laptop so bad, and you got your own gadgets, sir. You got your own gadgets. Got your own gadgets. Okay, so I don't think I got on repeat. I didn't, because I was feeling that groove. It was the last. So, as far as like, if you want to imagine what that may look like, as far as the shadow, right? As far as like 1212, and I ain't gonna say one of the things, but a few things that it does. You could say like old wounds are surfacing, old patterns breaking, old timelines collapsing, like timeline. It could just be a whole reset for like the entire subconscious, or just being in general, or just collectively. It could just be a collective reset. Recalibration of feminine and masculine energy. 1212 pulls both energies into harmony. The inner masculine drive, structure, discipline. The inner feminine, intuition, creativity, flow. This is powerful for you, okay? Because, I'm sure many of us are navigating like energetic imbalances, possible trauma bonding cycles, or dealing with egos clashing and maybe outdated relationships. So they're going to be like, I feel like, different things that we're all going to come across or even come face to face. Because once again, what the shadow has been doing this whole time, it's been holding everything that you've been pushing down, that you've been, have not been want to even address. As much as you think it's not doing any harm, or it's not affecting you in any kind of way, don't be mistaken. But for the most part, with this portal, you're supposed to feel like clarity, intuition, heightening, emotional release, sudden epiphany. And it was crazy because I did have like a few, I was at least no more than 3 at the minimum epiphanies within just the past 24 hours. Okay. So timeline jumping, 1212 is a moment where you literally can shift timelines based off intention, frequency, belief, choice. We step into pre-energy of 2026, leaving behind the energetic shell of 2025. And this is why people feel sudden shift, endings, and new directions appearing fast. Because even for me, like, I say this all the time, and, it's not for me to just, once again, say, this is my word, go with it. But I have been just noticing, like, a shift happening, right? I'm sure, depending on like where you're at, how strong it's been affecting, how intense it may have been, or how maybe minor, depending on what you've been possibly doing. But one of the things I have noticed is like the things that are being revealed that at one point people probably would have looked at and said, ain't no way that could have been a thing. Ain't no way that could really have existed, or that's true. Like, I don't know if y'all even remember this, but remember that incident that happened, I think it was Miami, where people were seeing these like crazy beings, and like you would swear people like just running and they didn't know, and like there's like a few videos, but one in particular, I remember of like a guy coming forward and telling about like what he experienced, what he witnessed. And I promise, for the life of me, if I didn't have that clip, you would have thought like, wait, what happened? Because like nobody, like, they stopped talking about it. Of course, when stuff happened like major like that, it's just one story to another, right? That may be talked about for a few days to maybe a few weeks, and then on to the next thing. It's just a constant bombardment of things just happening, and like we can never really like keep up with everything that's going on around us. So anyway, the reason I brought that up, because if I was talking to, like, to say somebody average today, and they'll say, wait, what happened? They will look at me like I'm crazy. Like, they would actually have to see it, and if they can't find it, then you're kind of asked out. And I'm a firm believer that there has to be some kind of sweep that happens periodically, and I don't know like how often that it happens, but I feel like something happens where they sweep the internet of things, and that was there once before is no longer there, even though they say the internet's forever, and I believe that. But it's like there's things that I remember watching in the past, remember things that I came across that I can no longer find, no matter how hard I try. And I just wonder if that's I just wonder. I'm gonna sit on that for a minute. All right, DNA and frequency activation. So when we get into the quote unquote laws, the hermetic principles, or the universal laws and things like that, when we talk about frequency, basically vibration is like number 3, is vibration is frequency moving at different speed, different rhythm. I don't want to lie to you. Like, I promise, I have wrote this down and probably read this 100 times. But when it comes to actually trying to like sometimes say certain things or get it out, the way that my brain just kind of goes blank at times should be studied. Absolutely should be studied. Okay, the Kabbalion. There we go. I know it's the Kabbalion, of course. The principle of vibration, because there are 7 principles. So I want to focus on the principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Understand it, right? Because the first 3 principles are immutable. They cannot be changed, no matter what, right? The next 4 can be persuaded, or even like we can overcome them. But the first 3 is within everything you do in life. So the principle of vibration: nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Okay. That's a quote from the Kabbalion. Speaking of that, I do have that book somewhere in storage. This principle embodies the truth that everything is in motion. Everything vibrates. Nothing is at rest. Facts which modern science endorses and which each new scientific discovery tends to verify. And yet, this hermetic principle was enunciated thousands of years ago by the masters. Okay, all that, they're going to get in line. Let's get to what it like means. Okay. The principles explain that the difference between I'll say this right. This principle explains that the difference between manifestations of matter, energy, mind, and even spirit results largely from what you doing? Come back here. Varying rates of vibration from the all, which is pure spirit, down to the grossest form of matter. All is in vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the position in the scale. The vibration of spirit is at such an infinite rate of intensity and rapidity that it is practically at rest, just as a rapidly moving wheel seems to be motionless. And at the other end of the scale, there are gross forms of matter whose vibrations are so low as to seem at rest. Okay, go down. Between these poles, there are millions upon millions of varying degrees of vibration. It's really getting deep down into it. So, he who understands the power or the principle of vibration has grabbed the scepter of power. Ooh, so if you understand vibration, you have grasped the power, right? Because once again, it's about vibration at different frequencies. But I want like I said, probably something I wrote down myself somewhere, and I can't remember exactly. But let me see. I remember everything. Okay, nothing breath, everything moves. Everything. So everything is energy. All right, everything, every single thing. Your thoughts, even your thoughts. That's why they say if you understand vibration, yes, you have the scepter and you have to control that power. How high, how low you want to go, that's on you. Okay. So why I bring that up? Because as long as you are aware that you are even here alive, it's always going to be a sense of energy. And what you choose to do with that is on you. What wave you decide to ride is on you. Like, it's like going surfing. I've never been surfing. I want to try it. It looks like fun. But when I think of, the wave, you have the baby wave, you have like the easy to mid-level wave, and you got like the hard level, and then you got the gigantic monster of them all. Rest our souls if we all ever come in contact with one of those waves, kind of waves, right? But the point of that is to ride the wave even within yourself. If you're having a high day, if you're having a great day, right, stay on that way as much as possible. Take that in. If you're having a low day, Like I be telling Jack all the time. I tell my baby, he's only a baby, right? But I tell him it's okay to have bad days. And you as a baby, probably gonna have more quote unquote not so good days than because you're in this processing of you've been in this world almost a year now. You have grown and evolved so much in a short amount of time. There's gonna be some days you're not gonna understand what's going on with you and with yourself, and you'll be frustrated. You can't communicate what you need because you're freaking baby babble, like all of that. So it's really amazing to me just watching, like sometimes when you watch something grow, like even as a plant, like if you ever watch a plant grow, it's the same thing. It's like you plant the seed, you make sure it has enough efficient water to grow, it has enough sunlight. You might add an extra sprinkle of, like, I don't know if they do miracle grow anymore, but some people might do like a touch of fertilizer, maybe some compost. I don't know, to help the soil draw in the nutrients that it needs in order to feed the seed and things like that. Because everything the seed is going to get is going to get from that. And then up comes the plant that we see from that seed. And depends on how we take care of it, depends on how it's going to grow and how it's going to bloom. And so I feel like that's the same thing as with us. As long as we're aware that we do hold the power of controlling the environment around us, we're good to go. All right. So anyway, DNA and frequency activation. Metaphysically, 1212 activates intuition. Oh boy, you love pitches. Psychic awareness, creativity, spiritual protection, life purpose alignment. It doesn't give you power. It wakes up what's already in you. So that's another thing. I remember 5 years ago, right? It's gonna be 5 years ago in like the next 7 days. I remember for some reason, I think it was 2020, and for some reason we were led to believe, I ain't gonna say led, but it was, the word going around about this DNA upgrade activation that was supposed to be happening on 12/12/2020. And so, of course, there's memes going around, there's posts going around, and, we're all, saying how we're going to feel and how we're going to look and how we're going to be once the DNA activation happens and things like that. Like, it was like a mess. It was so funny. I wonder if I could find that. You think I could find that? Because I was like, I swear, like from 2020, at least 2021 for sure, but 2020 all the way to like now, screenshot like crazy. Like I probably got screenshot after after seeing, and that's why like my Google Photos alone, I have to go through those things. I have to go through them and do a lot of cleansing, because I got like 1 terabyte that is almost full. So yeah, I found myself going back and deleting a lot of stuff, and I mean when I say a lot, and that didn't even put a dent in the iceberg of stuff I had in my Google Photos. So let me see. I just want to see. I have to at least find that one meme. See, there you go, right there. Right there. You see what I'm saying? Boom. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Let me show y'all. Okay. There you go. Share screen. All right. So I think y'all can see that. It says it was 21st actually, so I was a few days off, but okay. Or 1 day off. All melanated people on December 21st, 2020, when that DNA upgrade drops. And I promise you, that's just one of many posts, memes, whatever that was going around. in 2020. Okay, so December 21st is the winter solstice, and that year, they will say, "Oh, we're gonna get our powers, and we're gonna be," it was just it was funny times. I ain't gonna hold you. Those were some funny times between 2020 and 2021 for sure. Pre, during, and post pandemic. I'm gonna say that much. Let me make sure there's not another one within the mist. But I think for sure that was one of the ones that was circulating on Facebook. I know for sure. I also went to Nashville that year. I'm just kind of breathing through. It's just coming up, and I just, make sure I'm having it. But yeah, so air moves us, fire transforms us, water shapes us, earth heals us, nature is our refillable prescription. I love that. Y'all want to see it? We just look at some of the things I have saved and screenshot it over time as reminders. Sometimes I'll go back and look, and once again, it'll just kind of remind me of things that I might have forgotten. Because once again, when we get into dealing with like the elements of things, it's important how to work with the elements to get what you want done. Once again, air moves. So if air is quote unquote communication and thinking, well, fire transform. So fire can be like what ignites you, could be your passion. Ooh, what gets you hot, honey? Water is formless until it gets contained. Where you going? Hi. Where you trying to go? Hold on, y'all. Where you trying to go? You are. That's a cute. I know. He'll be awesome. So anyway, I didn't mean to go down the rabbit hole with that. Just to bring that up. So yeah, so let's get back to talking about the current. The gateway of manifestation. 1212 portal is one of the strongest days for intention setting, visualization, or visualizing, scripting, releasing, attracting. It acts like a cosmic amplifier. Whatever you send out returns quicker. Perfect segment for stop manifesting from fear and manifest from truth. I know that's right, honey. Okay. So that was just, a little breakdown into into like the 1212 portal and what it symbolizes, and how you can work with it and things like that. So let's get into the shadows and talk about what that entails and things like that. Oh boy, watch it. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so how y'all feeling? Y'all doing all right? Everything okay? Are y'all hitting your like button as y'all make your way in and out? Okay, so let me close this. And I appreciate, everyone that comes into, or let's say tapping into the current. The inner current. So, moving forward, Candy Cane said, "Oh, so anything I did yesterday can be blamed on the turtle." Yes, ma'am. Like, what happened? What you do yesterday? I'm not sure, and like recalling what you were referring to, but no, yeah, it's it definitely it was one of those, and from my understanding, from what I've heard, listened to, Because it's like a couple of people that I go, oh, where you trying to pull my? But there's like a couple of people that I go to for, you know, I say better and deeper breakdowns of these things. And so one of, you know, that is constantly mentioned about, like, this was one of the portals that is not going to happen the way it's going to happen again. Even though, like, we have this portal once a year, or, you know, a few portals once a year, every year. This particular portal for the end of the year, the way the energy is set up, it's not going to come by like this again. You know, it's like one of those rare occasions. You know, so if you didn't really tap in or even wasn't aware of what's going on, you kind of missed it by the fly. Okay, so let's move on to. Let's stop sharing this. Now let's bring up this, right? I want to bring up this visual. Okay, so it can give y'all an idea of what we're about to get into, right? Because it's layered. It's layered. And I love the iceberg being used as a reference when it comes to the depiction of, like, describing what the conscious mind, subconscious mind, the ego, super ego, all that. I feel like it's one of the greatest depictions you can use to describe the visuals of, like, how deep and how surface level certain things are. Yes. Oh, how can I help? All right, so we are going into 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes. So what I want to do for just a quick second, not too long, take a quick little break so I can just kind of, you know, check on my little one, touch bases, make sure he's okay. And that, you know, he's not about to lose his mind. He's chilling, but, you know, I just sometimes the silence can, you know, worry me, because it could be like the silence before, you know, the calm before the storm, because it is getting too, it's getting, you know, I ain't gonna say we have to go to bed now, but, you know, soon enough, you're gonna get sleepy to the point you're gonna start getting sleepy. Yeah. Anyway, so just give me, let's say, a hot minute, right? A hot minute, and I will definitely be right back. Okay, so hang tight. All right. Thank y'all for being ever so patient. I am so gracious. Okay. So welcome back. And also if you hear it sounds like some drums and some music in the background. That's my kid. He's over there minding his business, having fun, and I'm not gonna disturb him. So everything's good on our end. So let's move forward. All right. So let's do a energy check-in. So how's y'all feeling? Okay. I am your daily energy check. I am here to make sure you're flowing right, the vibe is right, you're feeling all right. Okay. Hey Tats. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope everything is well. So hope all is good with everybody. Thank you for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in and out of the stream. Moving forward, you guys. Moving forward. Now let's get into something. So I asked a question and I want to build on the concept or not even the concept, but build on the idea. Well, yeah, of the question that I asked. So here's the question. I heard, right, that the dark side is the deepest part of the subconscious mind, excuse me. So I decided to, I'm always, chatting with Chat GPT. So I told myself, let's see, what Gemini, because I didn't realize I was even typing it into Gemini at the time when I was, doing like when I do like looking up things, I like going across the board, and then I just stick to what's easier. And of course, the AI device is a little bit easier, of course. But like, I didn't realize I was even asking some of the questions I was asking into Gemini. I'm like, you know what? I mainly use Gemini for something else, but let's just build with it and see what it says. So let's go. Now, according to Gemini, it says that's a very insightful way to phrase it in a psychological context, particularly in the realm of Jungian. I know it's Jungan. So Jungian. You okay, kiddo? Come on, baby. Did you turn it off? Hold on. Huh? Did you turn it off? I just want to get out of there. Okay, so Youngin, this guy though. So when you talk about like he gets into like the different archetypes and stuff like that. That guy. So let me just put it. Okay. The term dark side is closely associated with the shadow self, which is indeed a major component of the unconscious or subconscious mind. So it's like interchangeable, right? It's like one and the same. So let me bring back up that chart. Give us a visual. Yeah, so they can know what we're looking at or what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Here we go now. Okay, so if you look at the chart presented here, you see a few things, right? Now this is more of I don't know if it's the modernized, and I don't think modernized, but I think this is like I said, the youngin version of what he thinks when it comes to the psyche of the mind and things like that. So anyway, the term dark side again is associated with the shadow self, which is indeed a major component of the unconscious or subconscious mind. Okay. Here's the breakdown of those concepts relate, of how the concepts relate. The dark side or the shadow self is referred to the disowned, repressed, or unknowledged parts of your personality. These are the traits, desires, emotions, and impulses that your conscious self, ego, or society deems undesirable, unacceptable, or inferior. Example: selfishness, anger, shame, greed. The subconscious/unconscious mind is the part of your mind that is not currently in conscious awareness but still influence your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The shadow self resides deep within the unconscious realm. Okay, deep down. down deep, deep. Some of the key takeaways: the shadow self resides in the unconscious. The qualities you suppress or deny are pushed down or repressed into your unconscious mind, forming your shadow. Right? One of the examples, or one of the key components to forming the shadow is guilt. I could tell you that. Number two, not just negative. While the dark side often conjures up images of only negative traits, the shadow can also contain positive qualities like untapped creativity, power, or brilliance that you were taught to suppress or that didn't fit with your self image, right? So, I'm sure you could come across people that want to do one thing in life, right? But okay, you know what? Perfect example. Y'all remember that episode from the Cosby Show when Denise's husband, ex-wife, came either for Thanksgiving or came from one of those dinners or whatever because her flight got laid over, and it's like there's no reason for you to be stranded somewhere, delayed over in the airport. Why don't you come here with my family? So that just kind of shows you the heart that Denise has, just overall. So the woman came, and Denise and her had a wonderful sit down, woman to woman, right? When I say woman to woman, I mean really she expressed like how she felt that she wanted to live her life one way, but her parents had her life planned out in another. So, of course, she wanted to make her parents happy. She wanted to, do whatever they wanted her to do in order to make them happy. But she realized what she doing was not making her happy or, making her feel fulfilled. So her family, her parents wanted her to have a baby, wanted her to settle down, get married, have a baby, wanted her to study or get a degree in something that has more meaning or may bring in more of the bucks or whatever, but she just wasn't happy, right? So dealing with all of that by pressing down her, let's say, untapped creativity or power or brilliance, and allowing others to dictate and tell her what she should and should not do, then that's when resentment start to come up. Shame. She might feel shame because she don't really want to do this, but that's the life that her parents had planned out for her. She didn't want to get married, but that's what her parents wanted. She didn't even want a baby, right? But the baby dad, of course, she loved Olivia. That was Olivia, a mom. But that's just not what was in her plan. That wasn't her desire. And the more she pushed it down, the more it was just getting to the point that she just walked away from it all and went and got help, and even went back to school. I think she wanted to major in sociology, but her parents wanted her to do something else like accounting or something that bring in quote unquote the money or even has a good look to the name, right? But that's not what she wanted to do. And through it all, even though she might have left a husband and a child behind, and when I say behind, not saying that, she still doesn't visit them or, doesn't still have a relationship with the child, meaning she decided to go do what she wanted to do because whatever she kept repressing was not working well with her life, right? All right, so listen, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me take another break. I know. You saying, why all these damn breaks? I got a phone call and I need to answer. So I'm gonna leave this question up. So y'all can maybe just think about it or ponder it on yourself. Or maybe even look it up yourself if you're that intrigued. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, once again, thank you so much for being patient. Okay, yes, I had to take a phone call. So moving forward, like I was saying, welcome to the InnerG Current. All right, let's get I love visual background, so let's throw this one up. Okay, let's throw this one up. Because it is nighttime. All right, back to the conversation at hand. We're getting to the dark side of the shadow. So the question here is the dark side the deepest part of the subconscious mind? So that's what we was left off before I had to step away and take this phone call. My baby getting sleepy, so I'm trying to decide if this is going to be a part two to this. Because we already is an hour in. Try to keep stuff under 2 hours. But we'll see how it rocks, right? We'll see how it rocks. Because once he gets there, once he gets agitated, there's no saving him from time. Kitty sleepy, and you don't want to sleep without mama or daddy. But daddy, he's coming. He's on his way home. Okay. Moving forward. Influence on behavior, because it's unconscious. The shadow can exert a powerful, sometimes destructive influence on your life until it's acknowledged, right? So until you acknowledge it, it may come out in destructive ways, maybe even harmful ways sometimes, depending on how bad it is. Okay, how untapped in it is, okay, or how unacknowledged it is. Until it's unknowledged or until it's acknowledged and integrated into your conscious personality, a process known as shadow work. Shadow work. So to answer your question, yes, directly. Oh, sorry. So to answer the question directly, yes. In the psychological context, the dark side is essentially the context of the shadow, which lives in the deepest part of the subconscious, unconscious mind. And so I said the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind are the same. Because I want to make sure that I had that clear, even though it said it earlier. I just want to just make sure that was a clear distinction, or if there is no distinction, right? Okay, so that's an excellent and very important question in the study of mind. While the terms unconscious and subconscious are often interchangeably in everyday conversation, in psychology, though, particularly within different schools of thought, they are generally not considered the same. The difference lies in accessibility of mental content and the depth within the psyche. All right. So this is the classic view. So the model that we have here on the screen is a classic psychoanalytic theory. The mind is often represented by an iceberg. Right. So you have the conscious, which is here, which is on the surface, which we can see, which we're aware of. Represented by our five senses, right? Touch, hearing, smell, taste, sight. Okay. Let's see. And then this layer, there's the preconscious. Then you have the ego on that same wavelength, right? It's on that same layer or level. And then down below that, you have the superego, aka you have the superego along with the ID and the unconscious. So the unconscious represents everything that's within it, the superego and the ID. Okay, let's go down some more. Concept, conscious, fully accessible. So now we're getting into the role of each part. Okay, so we're getting into the psyche. I like this. So now we're getting into the psyche, the deep part of things. Fully accessible, the small tip above the water, what you are currently aware of, thoughts, perceptions. What's else? Let me see. Preconscious, often called the subconscious. So that's why I wanted to make sure what there a level a distinction between the subconscious and the unconscious, right? Because even though they are the same, because it's still below the surface, unseen, um, there's certain parts to your psyche that can't be accessible, right? So the preconscious, often called subconscious, accessible with a little effort. The area just below the waterline, memories, knowledge, and stored information that can be readily recalled into consciousness. Your number, like your phone number, like what you ate yesterday, and things like that. Like those are like accessible. So that would be considered like the sub, the sub. Now we're gonna get into the unconscious. This is inaccessible without deep therapy or trance. So like when people say, "Hey, meditate," you have to meditate so you can really get into the zone and get, tapped into the parts to yourself that you can't just access to by thinking and things like that. One of the ways that we do have access to the unconscious is through our dreams. Subconscious leads into the unconscious at times because sometimes things from the unconscious can surface the same things through the subconscious. But anyway, it says the massive portion deep underwater, the reservoir or reserve of repressed, unacceptable desires, instincts like the uterine ID, traumatic memories. What was that? What? Traumatic memories, primal urges. This is the deepest level. So all the things that she was, shamed for, maybe you feel guilty of, primal urges, traumatic experiences, memories, things like that. Those things exist and remain in your unconscious, whether you bring them to light or not. They're there. I know sometimes, we want to ignore things and pretend things don't exist or didn't happen, but it's there. So in this model that we see on the screen, the term subconscious is essentially a synonym for the preconscious. What is the preconscious? Okay, so the term subconscious is essentially a synonym for the preconscious, the part of the mind just below the surface of awareness that is relatively easy to bring into consciousness. The unconscious, right, is far deeper and contains the truly repressed material. So look into the modern and cognitive view. Today, many cognitive and contemporary psychologists tend to use the term unconscious for almost all non-conscious mental activity, including habits, emotional processes, and instinctual instinct hard drives or drives. They often consider the term subconscious to be outdated or imprecise term, popular primary in self-help in popular culture. So the aspects, the subconscious, preconscious, just below the conscious level. Stored habits, learned skilled, current beliefs, easily recallable memories, access easy can be accessed through simple reflection, visualization, or focusing on a memory. The unconscious, the deepest, most powerful part of the psyche, repressed trauma, primal instincts, desires, or universal archetypes. Difficult, require deep therapeutic work like psychoanalysis, dream analysis, or altered state of consciousness. So that's one of the ways that we can access both. But that's why I said I wanted to really get into the the separation, even though once again they're still one and the same. Um, but there's a slight difference. It's all about once again the levels to this shit. So this video, it recommended a video about the subconscious versus the conscious, and I want to click on it. Okay, so let's just bring it up and see, because only 10 minutes. And Okay, so this channel is called The Living Philosophy, and it got over 200K subscribers. So, hey, so what I would do, I'm gonna speed it up and play the audio. How about that? But I will show y'all the video I'm playing. But I just want to, for the most part, just hear what we have to say, and also I will drop the link in the chat, so to make sure that the owner of the video gets all of the recognition. Um, so let me try this. You being a little wiggle worm. I'll put you down for 2 seconds. You'll be mad. Please don't be mad. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Okay. Share. So this is one of the videos that it recommends. Right here. Okay. So fair use. Okay. Fair use. Okay, baby. I see you. Yeah. Okay, fair use. So I'm gonna play this video, and also I'm gonna use the disclaimer and all of the good stuff here. Anyway, let's go.
Since the atom of the indivisible individual was split over 150 years ago, there's a couple of terms that have sprung up to give a name to that no man's land beyond the white picket fence of consciousness. Out there in the wilderness beyond our perfect rational selves, the two most common terms we find are subconscious and unconscious. To your average person on the street, this difference in terminology might seem to be a bit of a non-difference, but I hope you'll agree with me by the end of this episode that there's a massive sociological and philosophical difference between these two terms. And so with that in mind, let's explore the strange meandering history of these terms, who's using them today, and which term you should be using. Pierre Janet is a name we should all know, but unfortunately he has faded into obscurity. Pierre Janet is a name we should all know, but unfortunately he has faded into obscurity. He was overshadowed by Freud, who he claimed, and not without some reason, should be noted, had plagiarized a lot of his work. Jung studied with him in 1902 and derived his idea of complexes from him, and Adler also acknowledged that he picked up his central concept of the inferiority complex from him. Anyway, this great founder of psychology was a Frenchman, and his term for the great beyond was the French subconscient, which our English subconscious is a direct translation of. Way back in 1893, Sigmund Freud used the terms subconscious, das Unterbewusst, and unconscious, das Unbewusst, interchangeably in his writings. Later, he settled on the term unconscious to avoid confusion. In 1927's The Question of Lay Analysis, he explained this reasoning by saying, "If someone talks of subconsciousness, I cannot tell whether he means the term topographically, to indicate something lying in the mind beneath consciousness, or qualitatively, to indicate another consciousness, a subterranean one, as it were. He's probably not clear about any of it. The only trustworthy antithesis is between conscious and unconscious." Let's attempt to translate this into normal people speak. Freud is drawing a distinction between two models of this space beyond consciousness. The first is a hierarchical model. Think of his iceberg with the unconscious id beneath the surface and the conscious ego above the surface. This is what he means by a topographical model. On the other hand, we have the qualitative variety, which is more like Jung's complexes or archetypes. These can be relatively independent in the psyche and not hierarchically inferior in the Freudian animal id versus human consciousness sense. Not sure that was quite normal people speak, but what can you do? It's still philosophy. The point is that Freud felt the word subconscious muddied the waters too much, and he decided to simplify things by drawing the simple, broad distinction between that which is conscious and that which isn't. That way, it limited the impact of the topographical image that came packaged up with the
Okay, I didn't know that, because I did kind of wonder, like, because even the word sub, right, to me, it still didn't give like that added layer that, like, wait a minute, the subconscious is supposed to be, the unknown, the deep part. But if it's only sub, then what's under the sub, right? So it's like substitute. It's shortened for substitute. So I guess let me see. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking up the prefix sub. Okay. Okay. So word form. Looking at the etymology. word forming element of Latin origin, meaning under, beneath, behind, from under, resulting from further division. Sub, under, below, beneath, at the foot of, close to, up to, towards, of time, within, during, figuratively, subject to, in the power of. Okay, so even in the Latin term of sub, it's still, even though it's beneath, but it's like beneath the surface. So the subconscious is still even not that deeper layer of the iceberg. So I get that there there was some kind of, you know, clear distinction wanted to be made, so we know that when we talk about the subconscious mind, okay, so the subconscious mind doesn't represent the whole um bottom layer of the quote unquote mind of the psyche. So that's why when I asked about it's the dark side, because I heard about the dark side, when we hear about the dark side, it's actually just the deepest part of um, what's in the unconscious, and not even the subconscious itself, because the subconscious still thinks that you can recall. Like, oh, what you do yesterday? Oh, yesterday we, it was one of those days. It was kind of chilly, so we did blah 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 blah. That's like the surface level memory. It's like it was yesterday. You can kind of call it, but it's not too far gone. But it's like the thing that you really have to access to when it comes to the unconscious layer, you have to go through some kind of formal okay, perfect example, Q Reeves, he's a subconscious specialist, right? He does, regression, things like that. He's able to help you tap into that deeper part layer of your psyche and tap into possible memories, and I even talk about of this lifetime. So that's the idea.
Term subconscious. Jung and Adler followed Freud in this, and so the bottom line is that when it comes to psychoanalysis and depth psychology, using the word subconscious is wrong. And according to Freudian scholar Peter Gay, it's something you'll want to avoid. Gay calls the use of subconscious when the writer means unconscious a common and telling mistake, and when the term is employed to say something Freudian, it is proof that the writer has not read his Freud. But the word subconscious didn't disappear in a puff of smoke when Freud chose the term unconscious. So what gives? Who is using which term? A good rule of thumb for where you'll find subconscious and where you'll find unconscious is the context. Unconscious is more common in professional contexts where mental functioning is the subject matter and where there's more of a theoretical edge. This applies beyond psychoanalytical circles in fields like psychiatry, psychology, and neuroscience. Unconscious is a technical term. Subconscious, on the other hand, is more common in non-technical writings. It is a common term in spirituality and self-help writings. It's also the more common term in hypnosis and NLP, which work primarily with this level of the mind. It's a similar story to what happened with the word ego. There's Freud's technical use of the term, which, as we explored in the episode on the id, ego, and superego, is more of a heroic figure caught between the superego, the id, and reality. In stark contrast to this ego, there's the spiritual and self-help ego, which is, well, the enemy. It's the demonic, selfish part of us that is the root of all evil in the world and must be destroyed.
So let's pause on that, right? Because I'm always hearing that off and on about slaying your ego, killing your ego and things like that. And even upon hearing that, of course, it sounds great, right? Just get rid of the ego, all your problems go away. I don't think that will solve anything. And one of the things, like example I can use to show that that won't work. Y'all remember the movie Wonder Woman, right? The one that came out within the recent years. Remember the scene where she, basically on this quest to find Ares, aka the god of war. And she feels like that if she destroys Ares, then all the evil in the world will no longer exist. So, she, finally runs to Ares, they have this big old back and forth, flat out war and everything, right? But then she learns not only Ares, is a sibling, right? Is her sibling. By destroying Aries, did not destroy that was happening in the world. It did not get rid of all of the sad and the famine, the poverty. It didn't get rid of none of that. People inherently still had that within them without quote unquote the God of War. But from my understanding, you can't really like kill a god. So that's why I'm like, it's the same concept to me. You can't necessarily quote unquote kill your ego. I mean, because within this life, as long as you're in this 3D holographic simulation universe, the ego exists. Right now, if there's a way that you can quote unquote, because we're talking about integrating the shadow. I believe there's the same way you can like integrate the ego, because the ego does play an important role. It's just sometimes it plays a role so well that it tends to possibly be overbearing. And that's why when he said it could possibly be the root of all evil in the world, it must be destroyed. It's like technically it can't, because just like one of the questions I hear a lot too in parts of when people start getting to the Bible debate and things like that, and y'all know how I feel about getting to debates about religion and things, but every now and then I'll participate or even kind of allow myself to join time. But one of the things I hear a lot in reference to trying to get an understanding of how things are and why they exist the way they do. One of the questions I hear a lot across the timelines of the internet is like, oh, well, if, God wanted the devil gone, he could just poof and he'll be gone. Why are you keeping him around? And things like that. And I'm just like, well, technically, one can't exist without the other. That's just the laws of nature, the laws of duality, the laws of the universe, hermetic principle. That's just within. Now, once again, it could be something that can be overcome, but still, one cannot exist without the other. It's like trying to take hot away from cold. You can't. Try to take up away from down. You can't. Try to take left from right. You can't.
Is more or less caught between the superego, the id, and reality. In stark contrast to this ego, there's the spiritual and self-help ego, which is, well, the enemy. It's the demonic, selfish part of us that is the root of all evil in the world and must be destroyed. This is more or less the same story as the subconscious, unconscious distinction. The psychoanalytical schools of Freud and Jung are more theoretical and analytical. They're more concerned with mapping out this new domain of the psyche and figuring out how it works. The spirituality and self-help gurus, on the other hand, are more pragmatic. They want to bring about transformation, and so they are less concerned with a disinterested scientific exploration. And these different contexts lead to two different flavors. In the psychoanalytic traditions, the unconscious has its own consciousness and agendas. That is to say that the ego consciousness is not the only consciousness operating within the individual. This is particularly clear in Jung's concept of the archetypes, especially the self. These are parts of the mind outside of the ego, which in some sense have their own consciousness, their own center. They're different consciousnesses inhabiting the same body. Subconscious, on the other hand, is not seen as a separate consciousness. The authors in these fields see the subconscious more like a machine. It's more like a computer than a consciousness. This computer collects all the data from your senses, and all of this is stored permanently in the mind. Spirituality and self-help crew are looking to reprogram this layer of the mind. They're concerned with changing their beliefs. These beliefs are what is keeping the individual from success and happiness. Change the beliefs and you change the results. As well as this, it is common for these authors to believe that the subconscious connects to something beyond the individual. This is the mechanism by which the law of attraction is supposed to work. The subconscious taps into transpersonal universal frequencies. By harnessing the subconscious, you are tapping into this universal energy field, and it is out of this that manifestation occurs. The cosmic law is that like attracts like, and so thoughts of love attract love, and thoughts of abundance attract abundance, and the same goes for misery, happiness, and everything else. What emerges then is a distinction whereby the psychoanalytical unconscious of Freud and Jung is a domain with its own autonomy in some ways. There are other desires aside from our own going on down there. The wholeness of the Enlightenment's rational self has been shattered, and we see that we are not one self plotting our course, but a host of competing drives and complexes with their own agendas. By contrast, the spiritual New Age self-help subconscious frame keeps this wholeness of a rational self. We're the only person at home in the psyche, and it's only that we've got this computer keeping count of our previous habit patterns and beliefs. There's no need to form a relationship with this thing any more than there is with Alexa or Siri. It's just a matter of reprogramming the subconscious machine so that it is no longer holding us back from where we want to go. And if we are really good at reprogramming it, then we could hit the jackpot and align with the universe and manifest everything we want and live happily ever after. In conclusion then, which one is correct, subconscious or unconscious? And the answer is that it depends. If you're thinking of a neutral computer that you can reprogram for different results, then you'll want to use the term subconscious. But if you want to talk about Freud or Jung's work, then you'll want to stick to the term unconscious. And the same goes for more technical, scientific schools of thought. At their origin, towards the end of the 19th century, the two terms were effectively synonymous. But as time has passed, the gap between the two terms has grown greater. If you find yourself talking to a philosopher or a scientist, you should probably use the term unconscious. But if you're giving a talk at your local cult, personal development seminar, or hippie commune, then you'd be better sticking with the term subconscious. That's everything for this episode of The Living Philosophy. I'd like to thank David Bilibosian Bisophiasa.
All right, so that to me, that was a pretty good breakdown. So let me go ahead and get this video for you all. So either if you want to check it out yourself or even check out the channel. I might even just check out the channel. The Living Philosophy. That sounds interesting. So that's the name of the channel here. So let me go ahead and get that for you. So what I'm gonna do right now, because this is my fault, right? This is my fault. Got kind of behind on the schedule that I had set for us today. I'll go live a little bit earlier. But it's all good. I feel like I got the first part out. So maybe like when I come back, it can possibly, I'm trying to get the name, open up a conversation more, especially when I link the movie to it, right? Because that initially or essentially one of the reasons why I'm here having a conversation, because I was inspired by the movie. There you go. So there's the link to this video, and I will also link it to the description, so that way once again you would know where this video come from. Yeah. But here's the thing though, like my little one is he's sleepy and he's gonna fight me and be fussy, kind of sort of. And he's gonna just go downhill, and I really don't want those problems. So that's what I'm gonna do, right? I think I really did make great progress today. So an hour and 30, that is great. Like I keep saying that I do want to try to make more of my life like at least 2 hours or less, but it's all good if it goes over some time, especially if people do hit the panel or whatever, or there's more engagement as far as like people wanted to join in on conversation, whether it's in the chat or on the panel. But it's perfect because it's like past time for us, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn it to part 1. There's gonna be a part 2. Yeah. So part two is gonna get into the super ego and the id. I'm calling it the ID. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Move this over. I'm calling it the ID, but it's called the id. The id. Let me show y'all one more time. The id. So we have touched bases on what the conscious is, preconscious, and we'll get into like the super ego, because that was my next question, because I've heard of the ego, right? And I probably even seen the super ego, but I didn't really never got deep down into it because whatever reason. But now it's on the chart. I do want to kind of dive in more to what that could possibly mean. hey, in the clouds, girl. Like, yeah, we finna go to dreamland. Okay, it's that time he getting fussy and everything. And anyway, perfect timing. I knocked out El Boogie. Said hi. You want to say hi, El Boogie? You want to say hi? Say hey. You want to say hey? Say hey. 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 There you go. I was waiting because I know you can kind of say it. But so anyway, we knocked out the conscious, preconscious, and we're gonna get more into the super ego and the id next time. Because once again, the super ego and the id is all a part of the. Okay, let me take that back. Preconscious, ego, super ego, the id or idea, as I call it, all part of the unconscious, right? Because we just learned in a way that the subconscious and the unconscious are the same but not. Okay, makes sense. So yeah, next time I'm gonna get more into the super ego and the id because that was the next question that I asked. According to the chart, what is the super ego and the id? And Gemini said that's a fantastic follow-up question, as the id and the super ego are two of the main three components of the structural model of the psyche, along with the ego, according to Sigmund, whatever his name is. So just in short, let's just kind of dive into it just a little bit. So here's a detailed breakdown of the id and super ego. So according to the function, the seat of all instinctual drive, desires, impulses, it is the original inherited part of the personality. The principle, the pleasure principle, it demands immediate gratification of all needs, wants, and urges without any consideration for reality, logic, or the feeling of others. Location, entirely unconscious. It's the dark and inaccessible part of the mind. I want it. I want it now. Basically, that's the motto of the id. The analogy, the devil on your shoulder or the serpent right here, right? The raw, primal, and irrational engine of the psyche. So once again, like as above, so below, with within, without, right? So right now, I'm dealing with an id baby. You're like, don't call you a baby. It's an id baby because once again, he is still in his primal instincts. When the baby comes out the womb, they're not quote unquote civilized. They don't know what it means to be rational, right? All they know is when they're hungry, they're hungry. All they know is when they sleepy, they sleepy. Instead of going to sleep, they're gonna fight it. They want to do everything and under the sun, but just close their eyes and go to dreamland because they think they're gonna miss something, right? So, as I was saying, people, this was really actually very enlightening, and I love doing these type of streams because it just digs in more into how can I put it? It just digs more into like how fascinating and complex not just the human body is, but then we start going into the mind. I see why sometimes people can get lost and just thinking about trying to see or I would never want that power. Somebody said, well, if you want a superpower, what you want it to be? I definitely would not want to be a mind reader. No, y'all got that. I would want something else, but mind reading, yeah, I don't got time to be going down all those rabbit holes in people's minds. That's too much. So anyway, before I get out of here, listen, if you enjoyed the stream, of course you can hit that like button, okay, and you can subscribe, for more content, But also, if you want to show your girls some love, right? If you want to be extra generous, you definitely can hit the Cash App, right? The Cash App. Let me get this over here. Go to the comment section. $, Naira. Okay, Naira box. IGC, or no, I said it backwards. I did it. IGC it is. The InnerG Current. Thank you. You're so sweet. I wonder what it is. I'm gonna find out. And we got food, so yeah, we definitely pick it up out of here. Okay. But as I would say, if you want to be extra generous and show your girl some love, you definitely can. Hit that Cash App at NairaVox with one X because the other X was already taken. So we had to, just brainstorm and come up with something else, but it's all good. NairaVox at IGC. Okay. So if you want to go ahead, you can hit that cash. It don't hurt. It don't hurt nothing to show you some extra little support, right? But as I was saying, we're gonna do a part 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and set up that stream now. I know I keep setting up streams and pushing back other way, but some streams are more to me important than others. So if I'm not back tomorrow for a little bit, I definitely will come back the day after. Yeah, definitely. Like if there's not like anything particularly planned or we gotta do, I may come back tomorrow to do part 2 to this stream. But if not, I will come back the day after. Okay. So anyway, y'all, this was enlightening. I definitely will check in with y'all next stream. All right. Until next time, people. See you next time on the flip side.
Pull my bitch shots, cause I don't drink them all. I'm outside again, cause bitch I hate it home. It's giving hurt. Hey, hurt. Hey, it's giving hurt. Hey, hurt. Hey, I'm that bitch hoe, keep like. I'm that bitch hoe, keep like. I'm that bitch hoe, keep like. Those one WRPC, it's giving hurt.
building of a new nation begins with the woman, because the mother is the first teacher of the child. The message that she gives that child, the child gives to the world.
What man can say he didn't come from a woman? Please step forward so we can understand where you came from. So our ancestors had no problems understanding that divine principle of that sacred womb where we all came from. That was the basis and foundation of the goddess principle and the matrilineal system in Africa. And our ancestors saw, in order for the king to rule the throne, like you have Ursa Ma'at here, the goddess Sheshat. Here you see her in the tree of divine wisdom, giving the fruit of divine knowledge and wisdom in order for him to rule the throne. It had nothing to do with no tree of good and evil. The patriarch who came from the north, the Hyksos and others, who had a misogynistic nature, a hatred towards the woman, could not conceive of a woman nor a goddess giving a man anything. And that story was corrupted. The tree of divine wisdom